Today's Tuesday, July 23rd, 2023. It is 7:21 in the morning. I'm here at my house and I wanted to make a video. This is going to be a political video, so if you're not into that, just skip this because it's going to be very political. This specific video is going to be directed towards left-leaning individuals right now. Well, really, it's going to be for both sides, but more towards the left right now because the left is the side that's starting to become a little more radicalized. I mean, I guess they already were with all of the support of genital mutilation and disfigurement of the biological self by supporting the trans agenda. But this is a bit more towards the political side that's legislative, not so much social or moral. And because there's this Project 2025 agenda that's going around right now in the left-leaning circles that's trying to attach itself to Trump and therefore make him seem more radicalized than he actually is. Because apparently it was written by some people that were advisors for Trump or that worked with Trump at some point. First of all, okay, there's not one single person on this planet, not one of you that is watching this right now, has ever worked at any location where every single person that you worked with has the exact same beliefs, thinking, and agendas as you. Okay, everybody has their own different opinions. Some of them align with you, some of them don't. But to try and attach something like that, it's obvious it's propaganda. Like, it's obvious that they're trying to, use this to demonize Trump because they see that he's getting more support. That's why they pushed Biden out right now, because that's why they didn't do it earlier, because they thought, hey, we have a chance to beat him, so, and we can control Biden like no other, so let's keep him in there. But now that they see that Trump is starting to get more support after he was almost killed and survived with balls, with fucking leadership qualities, like actual old school leadership qualities, people are those people that are behind Biden, the shadow government, are getting scared, and now they want to have somebody else in there, and that's what they're doing because they think, oh well, Biden's not gonna have a chance now, not a chance in hell, so let's kick him out and put someone else in there. Biden did not step down on his own, and if you think that, you're living in a fantasy land still of a place that does not exist here in America. It just doesn't. You think it does, and it doesn't. The government is corrupt to the bone at the federal top highest levels. Okay, people that have been involved in that world, for families, generations of families, are the ones that are actually controlling things behind the scenes. The shadow government. They're the shadow government. And they're the ones that are pushing all of these stupid propaganda BS like Project 2025 onto Trump to try and control the masses. Because at the end of the day, our opinions, although they might not have a direct effect on who's going to become president, because the president is voted by the Electoral College, which is actually the state representatives of the country and not the actual citizens of the country, our opinions still matter, because in some states they have to follow what the popular majority is of that state, and in others it's just the right thing to do, and it's what most political candidates will do because they want to get reelected. They want the majority to vote for them. So if the majority wants a certain thing, then they're going to go with that. So our opinion matters. It has weight to it. So they want to, get us to a certain level of thinking and fighting and, voting. So that's what's going on right now with that issue, and it's ridiculous. It's just, to me, it's just, I've been that liberal before, I've been that Democrat without actually labeling myself that. I was, labeled that because of my viewpoints at the time, because of how I saw things at the time. I had a certain perspective on things. For example, with gay marriage, just being gay in general, I never thought it was something that was normal or natural or that was even right, to be honest. But I didn't think it was my right to judge others for it and to try and like take them out of that if that's what they wanted, like to each his own, to that extent. So I did, vote for to have their rights, to marry and to be open with each other in public, whatever, like that. That's something that I voted for at one point because that was the right thing to do. That was the liberal, the free thing to do for everyone. I didn't understand how that way of thinking, that wrong way of thinking, could lead to other wrong ways of thinking that would actually negatively affect the environment, the people in the world that I live in. By convincing them that there's something they're not, and having them go and destroy their bodies and poison their minds. And I never thought, that would happen, like, to that extent, where they're actually changing laws, for us to allow this to be done to children that are our children, that we don't want it done on, that we don't think we should be done on. That's insane to me, but I helped perpetuate that narrative by voting for that, by having that mindset of to each his own and whatever. So I think as we grow, we just become a little bit more conservative by nature, because as you get older, you start realizing that the most important thing in life is not, money or careers or whatever, unless you have like a career where you're actually changing, the planet in a good way, where you're making a positive social impact. Okay, if you're just, the CEO of, McDonald's Corporation, like, oh my god, like, your life sucks. Like, I'm sorry, but that you're just poisoning a whole, you know, generations of humanity, and there's nothing, being done about it, because it's right, and because people go and support you. I go to McDonald's, I fucking buy it. It's cheap, and I can't afford anything else sometimes, and it feeds me, but it's not the best food. It's not. I know it doesn't have the best things in it for my body. It's probably making me very unhealthy, but that's the world we live in, Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious. Oh god, that was corny. But yeah, it is. It's a really fast, mad world, angry world, where a lot of people can't just get along because of how crazy everything is, and how it keeps getting crazier and crazier every day. And I don't understand how people can't see the patterns, the the repetition, like every 4 years this happens, people. Every 4 years this happens, where they start pushing propaganda. There's some kind of big act that happens, some kind of agenda going on, whatever. Last time it was COVID, now they're bringing Project 2025. They're probably going to try and start another war soon. It's always like something big that they try and like, keep people distracted and arguing about. And then when you're trying to, see what's best, you can't, because everything's just so blurry and blurred by all these narratives, these media outlets out there printing all these different perspectives that they're trying to push onto people, and leaving out certain truths and highlighting other, facts, and keeping certain things told in a way that makes it downplayed or hypes it up, like, I just don't understand how people don't see the damn patterns already and just stop. Like, Trump, if you can't see how, like, you can't understand, like, how he is, like, actually trying to help America by now, then you haven't been paying attention to politics for that long, and you're very naive to it. Because when Trump first came out, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was, I mean, I knew they were serious, but I thought it was just a joke how people were supporting a businessman, a celebrity coming into our political realm, and like, and making a farce of it, like, just being so, egotistical, like, shamelessly, and, just his whole demeanor, like how he is. He's very cocky, and well, he has a reason to be. I guess he's accomplished a lot and whatnot, so I don't really blame him for that now. But coming into the arena like that, it's very, like, off-putting, and I didn't like it, and I didn't like him, and I didn't like Hillary either. I was trying to vote for Jill Stein at the time, a Green Party representative, third party. But people, you can't, we'll never be able to push third party here in America, because they're all too invested into the left or right mainstream media news outlets, and those are loyal to the left or right parties. So as long as people stay focused on those media outlets all the time, then we'll never. If this next election that comes up after this one in 2028, people actually start looking at independent news sources for their information, instead of ABC or Fox or whatever, like, fully one or the other of those, then maybe we could get a third party candidate in there. But if not, if people keep just believing their left or right leaning media companies, we're never gonna get a third party. So yeah, I didn't like Trump when I first heard of him, and I thought it was a joke, and they were just trying to get Hillary in, and having Trump in there was a sure fire way to get Hillary in, because nobody was going to take him serious. They did not plan for him to actually win. And I honestly, I think Trump went into it, if I'm being 100% fully honest here, I think he went into it also with an agenda of just letting Hillary win. Like, he was gonna, that was his goal, is just to not win. But then somewhere along the line, he changed his mind and decided he wanted it, and he was gonna take it, whether that was out of altruistic nature, or a patriotic nature, or an egotistical nature, or all a combination of those. Like, I really don't know, but I do believe that at one point, when he went in, he was gonna give it to Hillary, That was his goal, but then he decided to change his mind and go for it. And I believe that as president, he saw things that were disturbing to him, knowing that that was his country, the leadership office of the country that him and his family were gonna be growing, his children and their children were gonna be growing up in. He realized that he needed to do something. He had to. Like he felt an obligation to. And that's where he started, becoming attacked more. They started going after him because they saw, that he was actually trying to change things and make things better. And so, yeah, like, that's what's making me more convinced that, hey, he's onto something here. There's no way that a billionaire individual that has all the money in the world, that can move to any part of the world, he could probably buy his own fucking island if he wanted to, take his whole family and start his own country there and just let the world fucking destroy itself. If he wanted to, he could watch from far away and just watch it all burn down. But he didn't do that. He stayed here, and maybe he didn't also out of business, mindedness, because he knows that starting an island like that would take a lot of work, and he'd need a lot of workers there too, and it's going to be a whole process, so it's probably easier just to try and change the world he's living in now. But my point is that it's not something that somebody wants to do. Nobody wants to be getting shot at. Nobody wants to be getting attacked. Nobody wants to be being made fun of all fucking day in the media. Nobody wants to be living every day looking over their shoulders, like having to worry about this and that. Like, nobody wants that. It's not an easy job to do if you're really trying to get the job done anyways. But he's trying to go for it again, even at the risk of his own life. And there's something to be said in that. And if you don't believe that, or you think it was all just staged and he faked his ear shooting, he didn't really have a hole in his ear or whatever, I just don't know what to say to you anymore. Honestly, the whole crowd was in on it. They all were a part of it. The man that got shot was faking it. The families were lying. Now you sound like the conspiracy theorist. Again, it has switched over. Before it was Democrats back when Obama was being elected, and then it went to Republicans, and then it went to Republicans, and now it's with Democrats again. It's ridiculous.